Crypto Kids, we've got breaking news. We can see, according to the Kobesi letter, that US and Iran have reached an agreement that has been mediated with Pakistan. This agreement includes an immediate and comprehensive ceasefire on all fronts. The parties mutually undertake to refrain from targeting infrastructure, and there's going to be freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz, and everything else is to be negotiated within a maximum of 7 days. But the Strait of Hormuz, targeting infrastructure, and ceasefire are the primary points. If this is true, guys and girls, not only is it fantastic news for human civilization, but for particularly risk-on and risk-off markets, it would send oil towards that gap at 67, which I believe will eventually get filled. It would push Bitcoin higher in the short term. It would just be great. However, we have had this type of news multiple times over the course of the past 3 months. So is it legitimate? Is the war finally ending, or is it not ending? We don't know. We just don't know until it's fully confirmed by everyone. And that's why crude oil hasn't plummeted to $67. We're still at 95 because it's not confirmed. But if it is, it would be amazing. I want to talk a little bit about that. So we want to go into breaking news with an executive order that President Trump has signed, which affects crypto in a very, very nice way. I want to give you a take on Jeff Bezos' controversial statement, why I believe he's completely correct in what he's mentioned, and finally the SpaceX IPO that nobody could stop talking about. Please do stay tuned until the very end, because I think that's how you will get the most value out of this specific video. And guys, if you're not a subscriber to the Crypto Kid channel, do subscribe, because we post every single day, even in the bear markets. If you can destroy the like button, would mean the world, would be super, super appreciated. Let's see if we can reach 400 likes one more time. With that said, let's begin with a Bitcoin price analysis. Then we'll pivot into the breaking news regarding America and Iran. Bitcoin doing okay. It hasn't changed so much from the last video. So the technical analysis is completely the same. I don't want to give you a repeat of it, but I'll just remind you that there's so much resistance compiled at $83,000, 82.5, 83,000 on the biggest macro time frame that I personally stick to when analyzing the weekly. We can see that multi-cycle resistance is at 82.5, 83,000. You move into the daily time frame. What do you have? You have the Bitcoin bear flag, which is situated with its upper bound at 82.5, 83,000, alongside the 200 daily moving average, all at that level. So if Bitcoin can break above the convergence of massive, 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 massive resistance, then sure, I think we can go and head into the 90s. But until or unless Bitcoin does that, the bias is still going to be bearish, that we claim the lows created in February, identify the lowest point in Q4, and start moving up thereafter. When we look at Ethereum, I think that Ethereum is going to do so well in the future. I think that tokenization will benefit Ethereum big time. I think the monthly $25 billion worth of volume will jump to trillions at some point down the line. And I think the native coin will get pushed up as a result of it. But for now, in the short term, if Bitcoin goes down, then Ethereum is going to do the same. Ethereum Bitcoin has a multi-year resistance, which it wasn't able to break up above of and complete a bullish bump and run pattern. I think we will do so eventually. However, we're free falling and we don't have support until 0.017772. If we fall down to the 0.017772, it means that Ethereum will continue falling, because if Bitcoin falls, everything falls. We have an ascending continuation pattern on the Ethereum daily charts. We have broken below, confirmed the break below. We're trying to retest prior support and flip it into resistance. That's what I think we will do. I think we will claim the lows from February, just like what Bitcoin is, in my expectation, going to do too. And if we look at what Benjamin Cohen thinks, Ben Cowen is fully on board. He says that Ethereum is likely heading to its lower logarithmic regression trend line, coming home for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th time. Ladies and gents, let's talk about the breaking news. So today, according to the Kobeissi ladder, US and Iran have come to an agreement, which was through the mediation of Pakistan. The terms of this agreement include a ceasefire, an actual ceasefire. In that scenario, we can go back a few days and let me remind you, beginning of this week, President Trump, in the morning of Tuesday or Monday, was like, we were going to attack Iran, but we stopped it. It was supposed to happen this morning, but we stopped it due to the request of neighboring nations of Iran. And we're giving those neighboring nations 2 to 3 days to negotiate and come to a deal. And President Trump stated that he was hopeful that a deal was going to happen. Based off of that context, the deal makes more probable sense that it could actually go through this time. We don't know. It's very hard to speculate. Fingers crossed. If so, crude oil will most likely come to initially the lower $80 and then eventually find its way retracing to $67. Inflation will not magically disappear. CPI will experience higher readings for 2 more months of readings and then slowly come down again. But when we look into the treasury markets, we had to get a Trump taco at these current yields for American treasuries. You're paying $1.5 trillion in extra interest expense to refinance on the $9.5 trillion that you need to for 2026 in order to not go bankrupt. So Trump has to taco. That's another reason for why I think this scenario is looking to be more likely than the escalatory scenario. Anything can happen at the end of the day. And I need to stress this because this isn't like trading. This isn't like technical analysis. This is purely speculation. You know how things change in a period of not 24 hours, but in 30 minutes. Everything can flip. So far, the yields suggest a rate hike instead of a rates cut in 2026 alone. We covered it on the live show, but Iran has started Bitcoin-backed shipping insurance for the Hormuz Strait. Bloomberg claims that Iran can make up to $10 billion in revenue. Ever since that news article, we have seen Iran's IRGC claiming that 26 ships had crossed the Strait of Hormuz. If they were collecting the $2 million toll fee they said they were, that's gonna go to 50, 60-ish million dollars in Bitcoin potential acquisition by Iran. President Trump signed a brand new executive order that is directing the Federal Reserve to give access to the Fed payment system directly to crypto institutions, where they can avoid a traditional bank as an intermediary when clients like yourself or myself, we want to purchase crypto directly. As an American, I'm not American, but people in America, if you want to buy crypto directly, you can go to the exchange, you can connect your bank account, and within seconds, with minimal fees, almost 0% fees, you can transfer dollars, convert it into crypto, and do the vice versa, crypto into cash. Making this come true gets rid of so much hesitation, a huge barrier of entry for retail clients where they're just scared of buying crypto because they get charged insane processing fees, insane Forex conversion fees, and the money doesn't land into the account guaranteed, and it takes 1 to 5 business days, sometimes more, for the money to arrive. That creates so much anxiety that it makes people refrain from doing the whole buying crypto for the first time operation. And then you're stuck at a low market cap for the entire industry. We need new money to come in. And for new money to come in, you need to make the transfer of money more interoperable. And you do that by giving crypto exchanges and crypto institutions direct access to the Fed payments network. It seems, though, thanks to President Trump, that will happen. Long-term, fantastic news. Senator Dave McCormick mentions that Kevin Warsh is about to bring a new day to the Federal Reserve. If by that he means rate cuts, I think he's wrong. But he also states the Clarity Act is on path to the president's desk this summer. It has to go into July and get voted in July. If it doesn't get voted in July, chances are it will never, ever happen. So this needs to be on the Senate floor this July. President Trump said that there won't be any escalation in Cuba. Kevin on Twitter posts an interesting GIF because right after I saw that announcement by President Trump, Solid Intel reported that America deployed an aircraft carrier to the Caribbean as tensions with Cuba rises, and President Trump confirmed it. Interesting. Those two do conflict, don't they? Who do I trust? The politician or the politician's actions? The words of the politician or the actions of the politician? I don't know. This is not good. It's not going to be viewed by the world and markets as big of a negative for risk on assets as the Iran conflict, because of Iran having access to the Strait of Hormuz and having higher military capabilities and its position in the world, geopolitical position. The Cuba situation won't impact markets as much as Iran does, but really it's concerning, and I find it very, very concerning. And I'm wishing the best for the Cuban people. Jeff Bezos came out to CNBC last night, Andrew Ross Sorkin's interview, and mentioned that people who are in the 50%, the lower 50%, so you have obviously two 50%, higher 50% is the individuals, the rich people, the top 50% of people paying taxes, and then the lower 50% of income paying taxes. Jeff Bezos claims that the lower 50% should not be paying taxes at all because 97.2% of taxes, in fact higher, 97.6% of taxes are collected by the top 50 earners, not the low 50 earners. And if a nurse who's working in any state is able to save a couple of $1,000 a year from not paying the 2.4% tax out of the 100% market share, where 97.6 come from the top earners anyways, if that nurse or if that barista or if that Uber driver or anyone, the bricklayer, if they can save money, even if it's a little bit, that will help them establish a side hustle. That will help them have less of a financial struggle, allowing them to work harder to earn more money, and with their side hustle, maybe build the next Amazon, which employs the next 100,000 people. Very important. I don't understand why everybody's hating on Jeff Bezos for saying it, because I think he was spot on. Elon supported it. Elon is going to launch the biggest ICO, I said ICO, IPO in the world with SpaceX. The valuation is estimated to be around $1.75 to $2 trillion. He's raising $75 billion. It should launch in June. Ridiculous. I think it's going to be the top for the markets, by the way. 93x revenue multiple would be the market capitalization. These guys make an operating income of $4.4 billion. They did that in 2025. I think that was their highest year of income. So how does a company that makes $4.4 billion, that's a huge amount of money, but how are they worth $2 trillion? Even if you were to do the standard calculation of 10xing yearly revenue and extrapolating that way to establish a overall market capitalization for a business, the revenue yearly is 11.39 billion. 10x that is 110. Okay, you know what? 20x it. 20x it. That's $220 billion. Still 10 times lower than the expected market cap of 2 trillion. The only reason why it will go to 2 trillion is because Elon is the KOL behind SpaceX. I think it will be super overvalued. I would love to short it. I think SpaceX is great, don't get me wrong, but I just don't believe it's going to be worth $2 trillion at fair value. I don't think that's fair value. At least they're going to be the largest company that holds Bitcoin on their balance sheet. They have roughly $1.5 billion of Bitcoin, and Elon will become the first trillionaire after this IPO. Guys and girls, that ends and concludes today's video updates. I'll give you an advice of the day from CZ Binance. Optimistic people tend to achieve their goals, whilst pessimistic people usually live in jealousy. Always choose optimism over pessimism. It's a trap that we all face. If you can truly believe that things will be fine and you'll find a way, your actions will follow that thought process. Always be optimistic. Don't be pessimistic. If you're looking for a place to be trading Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, do check out the links in the description down below to our partnered exchanges, We have Weeks, we have BTCC, we have Bybit, we have Levex. With those links, you'll get the best bonuses available. And we get a small kickback, which allows us to make these daily videos. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in 24 hours time. Bye-bye.